What's up guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, my name is Crystal and this is Crystal's Copia, where we live a life of abundance. Today I'm gonna take you into my bathroom and we're going to talk beauty hacks. It's quarantine, we have a little more time on our hands, so I'm gonna give you some tips and some tricks and some things that I like to do that save me time, that save my sanity, if you will. So I'm excited to share these with you guys. I hope you enjoy this video. If you do, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. It lets me know the type of content that you like, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you never miss a video with me again. That being said, let's get into the beauty hacks. This is one of my hacks. Once a week, I give myself a blowout. So I've dried it. This is what my hair looks like dried just with a blow dryer and a flat brush. And I blow it out once a week and I wash it. The trick is that I wash it 2 to 3 times, really focusing on the scalp with a scalp shampoo. So I love the Surface Awaken shampoo. I'm gonna leave it linked below. I wash it really, really good, get the scalp really squeaky clean. And it also helps if you're having any, dry scalp or dandruff. And then I condition with a Kevin Murphy Repair Me conditioner afterwards. And I try to focus that more mid-strand to ends, because the goal of this once a week shampoo is I want this to last at least 4 days. I'm gonna be wearing this style a couple different ways for a minimum of 4 days. And that's the trick to get it to last, is you wanna really get this scalp squeaky clean. And if you're one of those people that has tried to go multiple days without shampooing and you notice you have an oily scalp, that can be because you're washing every single day. So your body is saying, oh my gosh, they're drying their hair out, they're drying the scalp out. So what your body's doing is it's overproducing oil to try to compensate that. So you can train your hair to slow down the oil production. And we have this awesome, great dry shampoo now, so it'll help you kind of get through those days. So I wash it really good, condition it really well. I put my styling aids in it. Now my hair is very dry, so I don't have to be as concerned with like oils and things on my hair because my hair just sucks it up. But if you're a naturally oily person, I would stay away from anything heavy if you're trying to get longevity out of the blowout. Try shampooing more than once, and if you're new to this, try training your hair knowing that the first maybe 2 weeks are gonna be a little bit more oily, you're gonna need more dry shampoo, but I promise you, your scalp will adjust and you will love not having to wash your hair every day. Okay, another tip for you guys is if you have really thick hair, I mean, it actually doesn't even matter, it can be kind of in the middle hair, but if you're noticing, especially during quarantine when we're not washing our hair as much, that you're getting a lot of itchy, dry, irritated scalp, here's what it can be from. It can actually be from the wet hair setting and irritating on the scalp. We all know that damp environments can breed bacteria and kind of nasty things, and so sometimes if our hair is super thick like mine, if I air dry, I could go to sleep for 8+ hours and wake up with wet hair. So I am personally not a fan of air drying unless I'm gonna diffuse it or wear it curly and I have all day to let it dry. I'm gonna be out in the wind or whatever. But if I'm trying to wear my hair smooth, which is what I typically do if I'm trying to make it last as long as possible, then I always blow dry it, because I'm gonna get a lot more longevity out of this because I took the time to blow dry it than if I were to leave it to air dry. Also, I'm not getting that irritated scalp because that moisture isn't just setting on my scalp. Also, on the day that I usually blow out my hair, I do take my time styling it. So I straighten it really, really well. I curl it really slowly. And so I allow myself some time to get ready, knowing that if I take my time and I really put the effort in that first day, it's gonna save me time the rest of the week. So it's actually Sunday. That's usually the day I wash my hair, usually Sundays. And then depending on what I have going on, Thursday or Friday. But sometimes if I don't have a lot going on the weekends, I'll wear it up through the weekend and I won't wash it again until Sunday. So it just kind of depends on my schedule, what I have going on, and also your hair type. So my hair, like I said, is extremely dry, so I can go a lot of days in a row. Take that time to style it because that's gonna give you the nice longevity. So now I'm gonna go ahead and curl it. Okay, another tip for you guys is if you have long, thick hair or heavy hair and you're noticing that it's not holding the curl, I suggest going down a size in iron. So I'm actually using a 1-inch iron, which that's not the type of curl I want. I don't want a really tight curl, but since my hair is so thick and heavy, I know the weight of it is gonna pull it out. So I'm gonna go down a size, and then during the week when I freshen it up, I'll actually freshen it up with a bigger iron, but this just gives a nice solid foundation for the week. And then also, so while this is heating up, I'm gonna go through and I'm sectioning my hair and I'm putting in some hairspray. I love Kevin Murphy a lot. So most of my products are Kevin Murphy, but this is their Session Flex Spray. I love this for blowout days and for touching up throughout the week because it layers really nicely, it brushes out really nicely, and so it's something that I know can build over the week and it's not gonna flake or get cakey or weird. So that's important. You want a product that will last you through. So I've got most of it up in a clip and I just take it in 2 sections like this and then spray it all over and then work my way up. I've been working in the yard, so don't mind the cuts and scrapes. I've curled my hair and you can see it's really pretty tight curls right now. It's in ringlets, but this is my next hack for you, is to let it cool. So I've curled my hair, I'm gonna let it cool. I'm actually just gonna push it back and I'm gonna go ahead and do my makeup. I'm gonna show you guys a couple of makeup hacks. I wanted to give you guys that tip. So I'm gonna let it cool completely, do my makeup, and then I'm gonna go through and pull all the curls out so it's more of like a loose wave. Okay, so my next beauty hack is sunscreen. I know we all know about sunscreen. It's so important, especially on our face. And right now it's starting to get nice out. So I know a lot more people are outside, and so it's really important. And one thing that that I know about myself is when I get ready in the morning and I know I'm gonna go on a bike ride or something, I will go ahead and just put the sunscreen on, because usually if I'm doing some kind of workout or outside walk, I don't have any makeup on. However, there are days where I go ahead and get ready for the day and then we decide to do something outside and I don't want to put sunscreen over my makeup. I mean, I do if I have to, but I'd rather not. So what I like to do is I like to use a primer that has a sunscreen in it, as well as a makeup that has a sunscreen in it. So for foundation, I like to use the Studio Sculpt from MAC. It's SPF 15, but underneath that, I like to use the Maybelline Master Prime. This one has SPF 30, and this is a primer and a base. So I love using this every day, because then it doesn't matter if I'm out in the sun just for a little bit, at least I have some sun protection. So I'm gonna go ahead and put that everywhere before I do my foundation. And then if you have, mature skin, or you're, over 25 and you're looking to, you wanna have a youthful look and you wanna put makeup on and you wanna have coverage, but you don't want it to settle in the lines, this is a great way to help keep it from settling in the lines, especially around your nose, underneath your eyes, places where it typically tends to settle. So I like to put that on first. And then I mentioned this in a Get Ready With Me video before, but I love this Becca Under Eye Brightening Cream. So I always go in with that next before I do any foundation. And now I just dampened my little Real Techniques makeup sponge. I'm gonna go in with that and some of this MAC Studio Sculpt. But it's crucial to dampen the beauty blender or the sponge. When your fingers are dry and not wet, it tends to settle in and it doesn't blend as well. So I've got the primer, so my skin is a little tacky, and then I've got this moistened beauty sponge. So I'm gonna go in and you're gonna see it just goes in and on so much easier. And then I don't have to use as much. And I try not to cake on too much in this area, because since I'm 36, and so I don't want to see any, too many lines through here. So since it's already a little moisturized, it just goes on and gives me good coverage, but you can still see my skin through it, which is key. You don't want anything overly cakey or drying, especially if you have mature skin. Okay, so the next tip for you when you're doing your makeup is if you're gonna do any kind of concealer under your eyes, especially like I said, with mature skin, keep it away from the crow's feet. You do not want to put a bunch of concealer there like you see in some of these makeup tutorials, because those girls are 20 years old. They do not have lines on their face. Now I do get Botox, but my Botox is pretty worn off. You can see that. That means my Botox is all worn off because you can see my forehead lines. But this is how you want to apply it. You don't want a ton. This is Tarte Shape Tape in the shade Light. And again, still with the dampened sponge, I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna press it around here because I do want the eye brightening qualities, but I don't want it to settle in my face or settle in my fine lines and make me look older. The point is to look youthful and dewy and young, right? So you can see it just kind of brightens me up a little bit, but it's not too crazy. I don't have raccoon eyes. And then I'm gonna go in. Cream products or moisturizing products are great if you're trying to look younger. So I'm actually gonna go in with the Glossier. This is their Dew Stick. It's Quartz is the shade. We're just gonna go in here. Glossier, I feel like it's like pretend makeup. Kidding, but it's very forgiving. So if you're someone who's a little nervous about makeup, get you some Glossier because it's not super pigmented. It just gives you a little glow. And then I'm also gonna go in with one more product from Glossier. This is their Cloud Paint, and this is the shade Storm. It is a cream blush. So I'm just gonna put a tiny bit on my finger. And you see how it just gives you kind of a youthful glow, and that's what we want. We don't want to look like we're trying too hard, because number one, we don't got time to try too hard, and number two, we're trying to enhance, right? We're not trying to like put on a mask. And I'm someone that I like to wear makeup. Like I don't mind looking like I have makeup on. I just don't want the makeup to, make me look older. And so I've put those products on. I like to do those when I'm still a little tacky from the moisturizer I had already put on. I put on the primer, I put on the foundation. So you can see I'm a little shiny still, which is good. And then I go in with my bronzer, because now my face is gonna grab it a little bit better, which I like. And I like a buildable bronzer. So this is Give Me Sun from MAC. I'm just gonna go in right at my hairline, right along my jaw, and then I pull it down. But I don't tan my face. I don't self-tan my face. So the bronzers are what I use to give me a little glow and then add a little color. And then once I've gotten that step done, now I'm gonna go in and set my makeup. Now I like to do these first because I really don't want to set every part of my face, because again, that's gonna dry me out. I want to set, kind of like my T-zone area, and then set that concealer under my eyes. That's it. I love the IT Cosmetics. This is their translucent powder. I like it because it's talc free and you need a very little bit. So here's another beauty hack for you, is whenever you have a pressed powder or a loose powder like this, you only want to tear part of the sticker off, because if you have the whole sticker off, you get a ton of wasted product, and then when you open it, it kind of goes everywhere. So just a little bit, go right on the top, kind of do your little tap on your hand, and then I'm gonna go in and I'm just gonna work those areas. Literally, it's only usually like 2 dips for me is all I need, because again, I have aging skin, so I don't want it to look too cakey. I want to keep some shine to it. It's set, it's good, so now I can go in and do the rest. Okay, another trick for you when you're doing your brows. So if brows are a little scary for you, have no fear. There is a system. So what you want to do is you can start with just a brow pencil is all you need. If you want to work up to have a more of a full brow, you can do a filler. This is the Anastasia, and this is in their brow gel, but I'm just gonna go in and lift these up. Again, you don't have to do this step if you're nervous and you're afraid that it's gonna be too thick, but if you want a little fuller brow, you can start with that. But let's say you're new to makeup and you're just nervous, go ahead and just go in with the brow pencil. This is the Benefit Precise My Brow pencil. It has a little spoolie on one side and then a little pencil on the other, but honestly guys, this works great, but I've used drugstore brands that were just as good. Another one that I like that's a drugstore brand is this Maybelline Tattoo Studio, and this is a little pod and you just use a little angle brush to fill in. So it's up to you, but here's the trick to brows. You want to take your pencil and your brow should start there. So line it up to your nose, and that's where your brow should start, and then come off your eye, and that's where it should end. And then if you're looking straight ahead, your arch should be where your pupil is. So that's kind of a little template for you to follow so that you know how to draw them on. But here's another tip is brows are naturally thinner here, right? And then they get thicker as the hair density, you know, is increased through here. So when you're drawing them on, you want to keep that in mind. So I always start in the arch and just give myself kind of a little outline to follow, and then I'll go in at the end and then I'll pop these up. Same thing on this side. So I'm just following that little line up at the top, same thing. And again, brows can be like a whole different animal if you want them to be, but they don't have to be. They can just be, you know, you're just adding a little something. It's hard to do in the camera. So I'm gonna finish in the mirror. Then after you get them drawn in there, this is the trick that's gonna save you so that it doesn't look crazy. You're gonna go in with the spoolie and you're just gonna break it up because we want it to look natural, right? We don't want it to look overly done. We want to just like accentuate what we've got, right? I can already tell I want to add a little bit right there. I'm gonna go in and thicken that up a little. Now, this is the third step to brows, which you definitely don't have to do. You can use just a clear mascara. I like just the CoverGirl clear mascara, but I'm just finishing up the Urban Decay brow finish. And guys, this stuff is great, but I feel like it's not crazy amount better than just a regular clear mascara. So do whatever you want, but you just put a little on like this. Think of it like a top coat for nail polish. And then while it's setting, I'm gonna go in with my spoolie and just kind of shape them a little bit where I want them to go. And then just before it dries, just kind of putting them in place. That's a very easy brow. You can definitely do it, right? It just kind of gives a little life to your face. Okay, another hack for you guys is I always put some kind of eyeshadow base if I'm gonna wear a full shadow. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes I just put on some mascara, but I'm gonna put shadow on today, so I'm going in with a MAC paint pot, and this is in the shade Soft Orchid, and I'm gonna put this all from my lash line all the way up to under my brow, and this is just gonna help hold the shadow. Now, you can definitely skip this step, but here's kind of my deal. When I put my makeup on, I usually do it early in the morning, and I want it to look good all the way up till the time I take it off. And how you do that is using good base products. I recommend investing in products like your foundation, or like, it doesn't have to be a paint pot, but adding these little touches is gonna help hold all the makeup on. One big difference between store, like kind of drugstore makeup versus professional makeup sometimes is the longevity, right? And I'm not saying always. There are some really good drugstore brands out there. They've come a long way. But if you notice your makeup is on and it looks great, but it's kind of gone in a few hours, it might be time to invest in some professional makeup or just the advice of a makeup artist so that you can get more longevity out. And a lot of times with the higher end products, especially with like hair products, like conditioner, shampoo, things like that, the difference between like a Pantene Pro V and like a Kevin Murphy is you're gonna get so much better quality ingredients, but also you don't have to use as much. A lot of that stuff is watered down and you have to put so much in your hair and you get so much buildup from it, where if you're using professional product, you might just need a little bit to get a really great result. Going in with this, and what this does is it's just gonna make the shadow grab, right? And the great thing about this is, look at this, I have quite a bit left still. I've had this for at least 8 months, so it lasts forever. Now here's another trick for you guys, is when you're doing your makeup, if you have small eyes, you definitely don't wanna draw any kind of eyeliner here and here, because what that's gonna do is it's just gonna make your eyes look smaller, and it's gonna be really harsh. Especially if you're 30 and over, I don't recommend doing anything that's gonna be super harsh, that's gonna close anything up. So no cakey foundation, no harsh, really super dark makeup unless you're going for like an evening, like really dramatic look. But I would stay away from that during the daytime because it's gonna be really hard on your skin, and then it's gonna draw, like, see my forehead? Like, if I have this really dark eye, it's just gonna draw that in and bring out imperfections in the skin. So keep it light, keep it bright. And so what a rule of thumb I always like to do is I like to go in the inner corner with a really shimmery eye opening color. So even, I'm just gonna do this one eye so you can see it. And I'll leave these shadows linked below. This is a MAC one I've had for 100 years, but you can just see how like it just makes the eye look a little bit brighter. And it doesn't take much, just a tiniest little bit, but it's gonna open my eye up and make it look bigger. And now I'm gonna go in with MAC Sweet Sweet Heat, and this is just a real pretty champagne-y color, and I'm gonna go in with that all over my lower lid and then up just a tiny bit. Again, it's a soft color, not too harsh. When you're doing eyeshadow, a good rule of thumb is you want to go kind of like a medium right through here, and then your dark is going to hang out here, and then the top is going to be more of like a nude or like a light to kind of open your eye up. So that's a good little trick if you're new to makeup and you're scared of what to do. That's a great little template to follow. So middle, dark, light, right? And I would be leery of shimmer. This one is very shimmery in the pot, but as you can see on, it's not overly glittery because I don't want it to look too juvenile because I'm a grown woman. So, you know, not that I'm saying you can't wear glitter, because you can, but this is a day look, so I just want it to be natural. Now, I'm a big fan of the cat eye. If you've seen any of my videos, I love a good cat eye with liner. I don't know, it's just like my thing. So I definitely don't want to do that same eyeliner through here because that's just going to be too harsh, but I want to finish the look. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in with kind of a middle, like a plum color. You can kind of see it on the end of my brush here, and I'm just going to go through and I'm just going to do a little of this. Once I put mascara on, this will make sense, but it's just going to give me a little definition there so it doesn't look unfinished. And then I'm going to go with that same color on the other end of this brush, and I'm just going to hang out in the crease with it. There you go. You can see I just gave myself a little definition, but it's not too harsh, right? And now I'm gonna go in with a liner and mascara, and then I'll show you guys the finished look. Okay, so next beauty hack is to always have two mascaras. They can be the same brand, but they definitely don't have to be, because here's what I found is when you're layering mascara, it's good to start with an older mascara like I just did, because they're a little bit more dried out, and I feel like they just work better when they're more dried out. And when they're brand new, they're very wet, and sometimes it's hard to build a thick lash with them. So I love the Nars. This is Nars Climax. This is an all-main one that's discontinued, so I'm not even gonna tell you, but it used to be Get Up and Grow, which I'm so sad it's gone. So that's the last time I'll have this one, but I always have like a cheaper one and then a really thick, nice one, but it doesn't matter. But what I like to do with this is I like to go ahead and open it up and let it sit out. As soon as I start lining my eyes, I leave that open, I let it sit out, I let it dry out a little bit. Weird hack that I do, but I found it works so good. And then I'll go in and curl my lashes. This is the Laura Mercier eyelash curler. I'm not gonna lie, I don't love it, but it's nice and compact for when you're traveling. So I let that sit out, I let it get a little dried out, and then I can go in and build the lashes up. You want to start at the base and just kind of crawl your way out here. And I always start on the edges out here first. I don't know about you guys, but my allergies are going nuts right now, so my eyes are so red. There you go. And then the trick is you don't want to look up high until you let that dry, because then you'll get those little lines on the top of your eyelid. And if you do, a great way to get rid of them is to use that spoolie you use that's on the end of your brow pencil. If you don't have one of those, you can just buy, I think this is e.l.f. brand, it's so cheap, but it's a great way to get rid of those. You just run it along and it will get rid of any little black dots from mascara. And I did have some, but you just kind of do this and it just pulls them off. I'm really bad about getting mascara on my lids because I'm using an eyelash serum, and so it's working really well and they're nice and long, but they do get on my lids. So that's a great little hack for you. Okay, this is the finished makeup look. I'm doing a shot outside of the bathroom because it's like 5 o'clock here, so it's a little bit late. You can see it a little better in this light, but I love the stuff I showed you guys because you can still see my skin through the makeup, right? It's not so harsh or covering that it looks like a mask. And this is really, really important if you're trying to create a youthful look. Now, do I have a harsh cat eye? Yes. Is that kind of my signature thing? Yes. So it's up to you about that. You definitely don't have to do that, but I just want to show you this is a very natural makeup look. That's kind of my little wow factor, but besides that, super easy. And then on the lip, I have Candy K lip liner, and this is from Kylie Jenner. And then over it, I just have some Burt's Bees gloss. That's it. So super easy, 5-minute makeup. Try it out. You guys will love it. Okay, next thing. I know we're in quarantine. You guys are all dealing with broke down nails, broke down toes. And so one trick and little hack that I like to always do is I have a foot file in my shower. So I'm gonna grab it, but it just looks like this. I keep this in my shower up on the shelf. And then like twice a week or whenever I have a little bit more time, I will just at the end of the shower hit my heels and under my feet with it. This is a great way to keep your feet nice and soft, especially in between pedicures. And if you're like me, the salon that I go to for pedicures uses this metal little cheese grater tool. And I actually asked them to stop using it because what it's doing is it's creating these little cuts on the bottom of your feet. And usually you're grinding through a callus, so it's not painful or anything. But what I've found is my feet get rough really, really fast when I'm using that. And it's easy to get get too much off and then have tender feet. And since I'm on my feet, I don't want to deal with that. So I don't like them to use that on me. I found that I get more longevity out of my pedicures, and actually my feet are softer if I just do something like this on a regular basis versus that tool. Plus it's really unsanitary and kind of gross when you're sitting there with like a pile of dead skin. Okay, next hack is also makeup related. So I've got my face on. You know, you can see I have it set, and it's a little bit drier than I like because I like a really dewy, youthful look. So one thing I like to do is finish it with a spray. So after the mascara has had time to dry, I'm gonna go in with the NYX Dewy Finish Setting Spray. And I just do like that, let it sit. But especially when I'm not freshly Botoxed, you can see how it's covering, but you can still see my skin through it. I can move around and it just gives me a nice glow. It doesn't look like I have too much going on. And now that we have the makeup done, we can start touching the hair. Now you can go in with a wide tooth comb if you want, but I usually just use my fingers. And I'm just gonna start from the bottom, and I'm just gonna rake out these waves because I don't want them to look too, you know, promy, but I also wanna get some nice waves. And I always am blow drying and styling my hair in a cami because it gets so hot. My hair is so stinking thick. I even have a fan mounted in my bathroom. I showed you guys this on an Amazon haul, but that thing is a dream, man. It saves me because in the summer it's so stinking hot here and just helps. So then you can see now it's a little bit more my speed. It's a nice little wave. So tomorrow I'll freshen it up with a curling iron, and then maybe the next day I'll do half up, and then maybe the next day I'll do a ponytail. So I have lots of options. I'm gonna make this blowout last all week long because your girl is lazy and I don't want to style my hair every day, especially during quarantine. Like, I'm already cooking a million things. Like, give yourself a blowout and then enjoy the week. Okay, so the next hack I have for you guys is in regards to the nails. So I know everyone's getting their nails taken off, or they're soaking them off themselves and they're waiting for the salons to open, and this is going to help you whether you're trying to transition off of maybe a dip or an acrylic, or if you're just trying to wait it out until your gals and guys come back to do nails, which I totally get. This is one of my favorite products. It's so inexpensive. It's a Sally Hansen Insta-Dri, but the trick is after you get your nails off, you want to cut them short. And here's why. Because when they use the Dremel tool to take off the nails, it creates these little pockets in your nail. And so what happens is as they grow back out after having this done, they just kind of break in these weird ways. Like, you might just get a little snag in them, and it just keeps happening. So what you have to do is you have to kind of grow that nail out. Biotin is a great supplement you can take that's going to speed up the process. But while you're in that transition phase, it's good to keep them short because then they're not going to be bent backwards or constantly getting snags and breaks. So it's just going to make your life easier and the transition process a little bit easier. But the reason why these polishes are so great is because they dry so fast, super duper fast. But also you want to use something that has a little bit of glitter in it like this. And the reason is because you're going to have these little ridges in your nails, especially if you're coming off of acrylic, you're going to see these little lines. And so if you do a traditional matte or just a traditional polish, you're gonna see every little imperfection. Where the glitter, it's gonna give you a little bit of texture to your nail, and so that way it hides that in between. And then it's also nice to have something on there because your nails are a little more sensitive after you've gotten them taken off, and so this is gonna give you a little added layer of protection. And another bonus, the glitter polish sticks really, really well. So it's gonna give you a little bit more longevity out of the polish as well. Now, if you're not down for the super glitter like this, you can do something like this. It's a little bit more neutral, but still has a little bit of that sparkle, and it's gonna hide those lines for you. Okay, another hack I have for you guys is about exfoliating your skin. As we get older, our skin production slows down, and so we are lathering on the moisturizer, and sometimes it feels like it's not really penetrating our skin. And the reason is because it's being blocked by a bunch of dead skin cells. So it's important for you to regularly exfoliate your skin and then moisturize so that it has a chance to actually get in there, right, and actually do its job instead of just sitting on top of a dead layer of skin. A couple ways you can do this is in the shower. You can see in my shower right there, I have a little coffee scrub. I got that one from TJ Maxx. You can make them with coffee grounds or adding a little bit of sugar, brown sugar with an oil like a coconut oil or even an extra virgin olive oil. And then I would just rub that in once a week all over my skin, rinse it, and then I go ahead and do my body wash. So I don't leave it sit on the skin. It's completely up to you. Depending on what you make your scrub with would probably depend on whether or not you leave it in the skin. But I do that once a week. And then I also, for my face, I have a couple options. I'll either do this daily microfoliant from Dermalogica, which is one of my favorites. But the other super favorite, this product, and Priori, I think is how you say it. I got this from my friend Sarah, and she's an esthetician, and this bottle will last you a lifetime. You literally only need a tiny little bit, and I only do it once a week. I do get some cystic acne around my chin, especially hormonally. And what cystic acne is it just doesn't come to the surface. It's more like a hard little spot. And so then you try to pick at it and you try to pop it, and then all of a sudden it's like this whole ordeal. So what I like to do is if I notice one of those is coming on, I'll put a little bit on my finger and I'll just work that spot, and then it goes away so much faster. And this is also great if you're gonna do like a really moisturizing mask that day, because it just kind of preps the skin, it gets all the dead skin off, and that way everything else can do its job. And you'll notice a big difference, especially if you're very dry. If you do a mild exfoliant and then use your facial oils and your moisturizer, you're gonna see a big difference in the brightening and hydration of your skin, because it's actually getting in there. Okay, my next beauty hack has to do with when you're drying your hair. So I keep above my shower here a little tote, I'll show you, and this is filled with t-shirts. These are super soft old t-shirts that I no longer wear, and I just keep them in here hidden away, and I love to use these as hair towels. I also do have a couple turbans, but I only have a few, and so sometimes they're just not clean, so I got the t-shirts. Basically what you do is you're gonna open up the bottom of the t-shirt, you're gonna flip your hair over, and then you're just gonna tuck it in like a regular towel. The nice thing about it is it doesn't have as much friction as like a terry cloth towel does, so it's not gonna give you so much frizz. And I'm naturally super frizzy, so anything I can do to help keep this blowout, keep it nice and smooth for the longest amount of time possible, I'm all about it. All right guys, that's it for this one. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.